Hi Sagittarius, happy February. I hope you are doing well. Okay, before I get going, I want to say I read polarity houses. I don't think I said this for Gemini, but I read polarity houses so that I can give you guys a better story. One house usually has the answer to the other one. Okay, so for you it's Gemini, Sag, and vice versa. Okay, they had a wonderful reading. They were really pushing the agenda on something, but I had some fears that they were missing some things there, and it's showing up in your reading. Okay, so watch those two readings if you choose. It'll give you a better part of the story. Okay, I think it's wonderful. I think there's just some things that internally need to be addressed to be able to pull off whatever this is that you're trying to do in any part of your life. Okay, so I think there's a real imbalance. What I feel, I'll go through the cards, but there's an imbalance as to like this, like what I give, what I receive, what I'm willing to receive, what I think I should receive. Do I know how to receive? You know what I mean? It's things like that. It's really looking at the parts of yourself that you might think really don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, so what if I'm insecure? So what if I'm this? So what if I'm that? Those are the things, though, under the surface that make the processes, I feel what you're doing, make the processes for you harder. Than you're working a lot harder than smarter, is what I'm going to say. And with the missing components, just look at where you put your foot on the gas and blow past 5 gas stations and then run out of gas. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make light of this because we all do it in some regard. We all do. We're learning, right? So don't judge yourself. Don't think you can't do it. You can. It's just you're going to need to look at where something is not balanced correctly, where you may blow past yourself and not even recognize yourself. Those kind of things, right? So we come in with the 9 of Wands, right? And that's exactly what I feel like you're feeling. You're tired. You feel like you've been, to war and back, and you probably have. But with the 9, it's like we know in a 9, though, what to do to make it not harder. It's when we let some things go and we take what we've got and we pull it forward, right? So with the 9, too, it's like the things that can come in. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's the things that can come in through the back door. Right? The things that we're not really aware of. Like, again, I didn't realize that, I had a cold on Monday and today I've got pneumonia because I just kept going, right? So the 9 of Wands it's a powerful card. It's a card, though, that says I either need to start delegating something. I need to let go of something. I think that there are shadow aspects in here that you're going to need to address, and we'll see further what they are. They're usually just fears. That's usually what they are, or they're usually an area in life where you end up behind the bus because the processes weren't better thought out, right? It could be things like that too, because that's how you see yourself. And I assure you it's true because I just did Gemini's reading and I know it's the other half of this. Okay, so the 9 is this is who you really are. You're tired, right? So sit for a minute, get your faculties back, because this is how other people see you. See the big difference here? You're conking yourself out, but they're not seeing what's really going on the inside. They think, oh, they like what they do. They're open to what I have to say. They're receptive. They hear me. And you're thinking, holy hell, man, I'm dying here. This is, see what I'm saying? But you've got to look at, because these are 2 facets of yourself in reality, right? So we need to get some green back in here. All right. I feel like you're in the home stretch of something. You're really getting your footing on something. It's just you may have to tweak some battles here and there within yourself to get some fresh air back in here. Okay, we have a sword. We did not have swords in Gemini. Okay. I know what's going on here, so we need to balance some stuff out. Some things in life are just not balanced here. I think it's when to go, when to hold them, when to you need to regiment your life a little bit. In the past, you've got the Two of Wands. I'm sorry, the Two of Coins. This is a balancing act. This is our day-to-day stuff, and this is what was missing in that other reading. And I keep referencing it because it's what you're going to have to focus on, your day-to-day routine here. And those are the things where they can, 6th house is the house of health, because if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not doing things in a balanced way, it can affect you, right? We can become critical, we can become cynical. The downside to this card is like, I do everything for everyone else. You know what I mean? But you're overlooking yourself, you know? Because they see you like this, and they're glad you're doing it. They're glad you do everything for everyone else, but you're like, you know, you see? That's good. Because then we become critical, and then we start resenting things, and we start resenting people, and someone takes advantage of you. But it's human nature. People will take what you'll give, so you need to put the boundaries on. You know, the kibosh is like, I'll stop here, you know? The 2 is that at some point you may be doing something too, which could be the point where either, you know, you're learning something new, you're going to school while you're working, you're updating your skill set while you're working, you could be burning the candle at both ends here. But with the 2, at some point, you're going to have to release what you really have no control over and focus on what you do, right? It's that serenity prayer. Just focus on the things that you've got here, because this is, in a nutshell, it's we all do this. It's the stuff we do on our day-to-day, but you've got to do it in a more self-honoring way, right? Okay, now you've got the Strength card in the deep past. Okay, the Strength card is again, it's a virtuous card. It's internal strength. It's not really pushing forward on the outside. It's balance, right? It's I come at things from a place of grace. You can't do that if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not putting yourself in the equation. This card is a card of strength, but it's a card of I think you abandoned yourself in this process. I think that people see you physically going through the motions, but I think inside you've sold yourself out somehow. And that's sometimes through, we just don't take care of ourselves. And I think here, let me go through the cards. There's a heaviness in here. So with this 9, you could be doing a job on yourself, because this card tends to beat the crap out of themselves and nobody else. You know? All right. Now the whole crux of this reading is the King of Swords. This is very practical, thought out, black and white, yes, no, things like that. Things are just very practical with them. It's not someone who's going to really get into the, you know, well, I feel like this. They're really not going to. It's not that they don't care, but they're not. They're wired different. They're wired kind of like, you know. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, now the present is the 8 of Swords. Okay, this is not a pretty card here, because this is a card of saying you've either taken on too much, you feel like you're stuck, you feel like you're trapped, you feel like you can't do something. It's not a good card in here. The beauty of this, though, is that it can be overcome. It's just you're going to need to back up and look at what it is that you need to face here. There's some demon under here. We all have them. It's not a negative thing, but there's something within you that is poking you, and you need to address it so that you can get past it. All right. Now this can be, you know, you locked yourself into a corner here. You are exhausted. You don't feel like you can do this. You're selling yourself out here, which was my concern in the other reading. You've got to remember here, this is the deep past. This is, you've got to take care of yourself here. You've got to water your own garden. You've got to take care of your own house. You've got to function, you know, in your own bank account. You've got to be okay with yourself when you try to sleep at night. This is about you, I think, and this is about, you know, again, I think you feel like it's you against the world here. That it's not. You've just taken on too much. Okay, now what you need to, the undertaking here is, again, I feel you need to find some excitement in this. It's a movement card, so that's a good thing. Okay, but what you've got to get moving here, I feel, is this. You've got to get your headspace in the right place because you're not stuck. You're tired, I think, or you're exhausted, or you didn't pay attention to the gas station signs and you blew past and now you're out of gas. That could be what this is too. This is how you feel. And this is how you feel, right? You see, you didn't put yourself on the radar here. You were just too busy out doing. You know, I've got all these balls in the air, and at some point one of them drops, and it's dropping. But this can be a blessing card too. Okay, there's nothing in this card you can't get past. You just need to catch your breath for a minute. Okay. All right. And since this is the card here that is the top of your reading here, you'll get a better plan. You'll get a smarter way to do something. That's it. You'll figure it out. You'll get it. This could be, though, you beating the crap out of yourself, in all honesty. But this is not a good card because this is a card where you're doing a number on yourself with that Nine of Wands. It's someone who can become very self-critical, right? Or sell yourself out very easily. But this is kind of what you've got to adopt here. And now what you have here, how you do this, the behavior, is the King of Cups. This is breathing some fresh air into whatever this was that you were driving. You've just got to get some life back in this. And remember why you're doing what you're doing. Right? Because here it's like you either are criticizing yourself, or you're letting other people criticize you, or you could just be, though, also over emotional. It could be that, where you're just oversensitive. You're oversensitive to what everyone else is going through. Or you're doing this, I have a feeling you're doing this to yourself. I've got to be honest with you. Okay, so the external environment is, again, and what you've got to adopt here is patience. This will come forward. You're pushing something here. You've just got to realize, though, again, the balance thing. When do I put my foot on the gas and when do I take my foot off? And this is going to apply to you in whatever it is that you're doing. There's not a practical, healthy day-to-day. There's no there's just got to be more forethought in how you balance your life on a day-to-day. Okay. Yeah. This could turn into something where, and I point this out because there's something you're not facing here, because the future card, the outbound card, is fear, and this is fear. It's, you know, there's something I feel that you're just not looking at. Do I think you're not aware of it? No, I think you are aware of it, but I think you don't think it's either vitally important enough to stop and fix it, That's what I think it is. I think you don't think it's important enough, or that, you know, it doesn't matter how I feel right now. I just need to get through this, and then I'll worry about me. We all do this. Then I'll worry about me. The fact of the matter is, though, that you're out of air, my friend. You've got to put the mask on yourself here. Okay? There's a definite imbalance here, and something that you've got to look at. The Strength card here, I'm glad that this is here, but it's the distant past. So this is really sometimes, though, having to really put some effort into something. It's not something little, though. These two cards, you're very susceptible right now to this. And I think it's because you've either done something too long, not put enough forethought into something, did it for someone else and not yourself. Saw, a lot of times we'll do this too, we see the end game, right? But we're not really in it. You know what I mean? We kind of see what we want it to look like this. We want this relationship to go like this. We see the potential in it. But right now, this is what it looks like. You see? And this is where you're at. So, my point is that you're probably beating the crap out of yourself. And it's just a matter of remembering who you are in this equation. And this again is I don't feel that this is a little card. I think that it's something pretty big here. Hang on. Especially with that Moon card on the outbound. Because these are very different cards. Okay? If you just look at them. The King of Wands is the search. The undertaking. That's a breath of fresh air. He's driven. This card moves through life by excitement. You need something in your life here to remind you of what it is that, you know, you just need some patience here though too. You know, there's no patience here, but it knows what it needs to do. You know what I mean? This card it knows what it needs to do. You know, I need to plant stuff and then I need to wait. It just is what it is. I can, you know, they know the battles to choose and the ones that just are not, you know, what I need to worry about and what I have no control over. And it just is a matter of fact of that. And that's why I worry about that other reading had no air in it. So it would drive itself, this whatever this is. And I know it has to do with both of those signs. So pay attention to those. The Moon card here is, I don't feel it's real fear. I don't. I think that it's fear that you're in a place experiencing this because you've got to look at something in your life for a while, most likely a very long while, that you've not looked at, right? Because this card too can be where you feel abandoned, right? Like you just, inside, you feel barren. You feel abandoned. And it's very true. But no one else is noticing this. That's a problem, right? You've got everyone's balls in the air here, maybe literally, right? But you're not thinking about yourself. This is where we build everyone else's dreams and then we are resentful. But we did it. So there's a part here that you've got to look at. This is a card too. It's a money card. It's a financial stability card. It's just, you know what? If I want, example, a better financial bearings, if I want my financial bearings to be better, I need to plan better. I need to juggle some stuff, right? These are practical processes that everybody goes through, right? All right, let me see here. These are great cards too, because one, look at their polarities. They're the Wands card, external. It goes out. You're receptive with this. See the balance here? There's life in these cards. See the imbalance here? You want to get back to this. You want to get things moving in a direction that's healthy. You want to turn this into like that, the green. You know what I'm saying? You've just got to give it time though. It's not the right season, I don't think. Right? There's seasons and times for things. I think you may have blew past one of the seasons. You know what I'm saying? So your crop is going to need to be shuffled a little bit here. Hang on. These cards in these spots are good because it shows me you can breathe some fresh air in here, and you can be open to receive what you need to. And I think that this is something you're going to have to look for in yourself. I think that it's something. It's a shadow. It's a shadow is what it is. You're just going to need to bring some light to it. Because look at this. Again, there's just certain parts here, and I hate to keep harping on it, but you've got the start to something and the end to something, but the nooks and the crannies are missing. The things that make our day-to-day life happy, right? It's not about the end game. It's about how happy am I in this day. You know what I'm saying? It's be where you're at in a balanced way, though. Right? Know what time to shut the door at night. Know what, know those things. Six of Cups. All right. This is, there is something in here, and I keep feeling it, and I keep saying shadow side to something, but this is a karmic, this is, and I just kept getting it from this. This is something from the past where you sold yourself out. Right? The Six of Cups is a card of nourishment, nurturing, being happy. It's a karmic, it's an unfinished karmic thing playing out now. Karma is just, I get a do-over. I get to do this again and not feel like this. Right? If you give yourself time, this can be too, especially with the Moon card. This is something karmic for sure, and you are feeling it. You are feeling it, and not in a good way. It's like a longing for something, a missing part of yourself. It's a void. It's something you feel like you're trying to fill this. You're trying to fill this with something that you treasured, something within yourself, something that it's a missing piece. You sold yourself out somewhere along the way. Don't take that as a negative. It's what happened. But this right here, you get a chance now to bridge this. You see? It's a good thing. It's just going to be something that I think you're going to need a good cry over. Okay? Let me see what the Moon card is about. Queen of Cups. Okay? This is, like I say, this is lineage. This is past life stuff. It's deep-seated. I long for this. I want this. I feel empty. I feel barren. But it's in here that you're going to find your answer. Okay? It's in something from the past. It's in either somewhere where someone abandoned you and you're still looking at it from that perspective. You know, I'm not going to give you advice in here because I don't know exactly what this is, but try to grab your hand from the adult perspective and bring this broken part of yourself into this. And this is where I'll say hold your own hand. And You know, I think what's not balanced here, how do I say this? Give me a minute. I want to say this the right way. I don't even know how to put this into words. It's like the forgotten one. I feel like the forgotten one. That's the only way I can say that. Like the abandoned one, the forgotten one, again, the barren land that really just needs some tending. Your heart, you need some tending. You need to tend yourself. And I think that's what will bring the garden back to life. And that's really what I think. Okay, so that's what I've got. I know this was insane, but there's a lot that's coming through here. And I think that the only way to bridge that is you're going to need to go plant something, to go grow something, to go find the piece of yourself that's ready to jump off the cliff here. Because this is how you feel. But no one else around you has a clue that this is what you're going through. So that's not really a good thing. Okay, but you've got 2 cards of movement in here. You're just going to need to let go of some things that aren't even yours on your day-to-day. This is, again, how you take care of yourself. It could be something as simple as, this is a little longer, I know, but there's something here that to be able to address these wounds, we need to be taking care of ourselves. We need to be getting adequate sleep. We need to be really sitting, giving ourselves quiet time. You're not taking care of yourself in a nutshell. And it's going to get worse if you don't get a handle on it. Because this card always has one more thing that, you say, really, I can't take one more thing. But this card is saying, it's coming, sister. So take a time out for yourself. This is something from the past playing out now. And maybe it's most likely where you sold yourself short. You did everything for everyone else, and yet you feel like you're the forgotten one. You can fix this. Okay? So that's what I've got, my friend. I hope that I helped you in some way. I feel this reading. So I know that I know it feels like this. This is probably how your body is going through something, but this is, the good news is that it's karmic, and it's something come home to let you take another gander at it, to do it differently, to take care of yourself. This is about you taking care of yourself, not everyone else. So drop some balls here, okay?